So can I invite the first team, run right, to kick off? Which is always a hard thing, right? It's like, you be the first. It's a tough position, but I'm sure you'll do well. I have a microphone for you here, right here. There you go.
Okay, we have slides. So
slides, okay.
Can I plug it in?
Sure.
Hello.
It works.
Give them another round of applause for being the first, okay?
Exactly. Right, we're on. Okay. Do we have another microphone? Because Pim needs to say something in a moment as well.
Pass it through. We can pass it through. Can you do that?
I'll pass it over. It's okay. Hello. Okay, so hi there. This is our team. We are Run Right. We've got a really nice team, I have to say. I think a lot of our success comes through the team members. We've got all these different competencies in the group, and you'll see that during our presentation in a moment. Basically, what we have is a device focused on running. We had some runners in the group, and they were very excited about doing a product in running. And when we take a look at the running market, we can see it's a subset of the sports market, but running electronics is still a large proportion of that, $300 to $400 million per year. So lots of money to be had, but the thing to do is to work out where the need is in the market, and we identified a need that I think is encapsulated by this image more than anything. The idea that you want to be able to run really nicely, but you're not quite sure how you're doing it or what it looks like, and it's expensive to find a coach, and maybe you don't have the time. So we wanted a product that brought this, that solved this need or addressed this problem. When we look at the products on the market at the moment, most of them focus on measurement. So we're looking at heart rate, speed, distance, primary parameter measurement, but none of them really serve this need that we identified, where you want to improve your running technique or the biomechanics of your movement. So that's where we positioned our product, Run Right, over in this hopefully somewhat empty space in the market. We brainstormed a little bit and took a look at how we can serve that market best with the hardware that we had, and we came up with a lot of ideas. You can see these are highlights from the brainstorm. I won't go through them all, but you can see it builds quite a complex picture, a lot of information, a lot of devices, and what we were really worried about, particularly the runners in the group, were worried about preserving this running experience. And that's where you're on the road, it's almost like a form of meditation. You're out with the elements, one with nature, and if you have something buzzing in your ear all the time, or you've got to look at your phone persistently, it's disturbing this experience. So we want to try and maintain the kind of natural running experience whilst enhancing it and guiding the runner at the same time. So the solution we came with a system like this and a particular aspect which is the interaction band. And our interaction designer from our team, Pim, is going to tell a little bit about the features of that band here. So do you guys want to come up here and show something?
Thank you very much. Well, we 3D printed a bracelet. You can see it here. And the idea of it is that when you're running, you don't always, you actually want to know if you're running right. Are you using the right technique? Well, through sensors hidden also in the foot sole, you can measure if you're using the right step, how is the impact, how is the stripe, and that is represented on a wristband through color lights. We can show it now with a green light for if you're running at the right pace, the right technique.
We start at the wrong stride, at the rear foot stride.
Yeah. At the moment we go to demonstrate how the band would react if you're using the wrong stripe. So the bracelet has LEDs on all sides, so when you're running you can see from every side if you're doing it right or not. You also don't have to look every minute to your bracelet because it has a vibrating mechanism inside it, so it vibrates like 1 or 2 times, and then you know, like, oh wait, I have to take a quick look at my bracelet and know if I'm using the right technique. So that's actually most of it. At the moment it only uses the foot sole to measure it, but later on there are more options. It also has a possibility for notifications. I can demonstrate it right here. then you can maybe make a quick break anytime soon to view your smartphone for detailed information what you're doing wrong. More of that from Andy.
Great, thank you. Okay, thanks for that, Pim. So yeah, so this is our interaction band. We also built an app that is the center core, brings everything together. And Gilad, our software engineer, is going to show that to the jury now. For those of you in the room, I've made screenshots so we can see what we're looking at. This is the menu screen. When we're running, there's more information here to be had. Of course, we're not going to disturb the running experience. You use the band to gently coerce the runner into the right technique. But if you want more information, it's there. If you're in a gym, if you've got more time, that's there. And when you get back, you have a summary screen. The beautiful thing about the summary screen is it's really smooth, interactive, sexy, but I can't show that on a screenshot. But the jury will see that on the iApp in a moment. We also had the idea we wanted to bring motivation, the idea of achievements, having a goal. And what we have, the idea here is that once you've managed to successfully overcome one technical challenge, then you get rewarded, unlock the next achievement and the next technical challenge, which might be, in this example, focusing on your knee bend. And you can enhance that experience if you want to by purchasing another product focusing on the knee brace and bringing new measurement opportunities. But that's an optional extra. Basically, we considered a number of different revenue streams. The product itself brings revenue. We can sell the app. We talked about subscriptions as well. If we're doing updates on a monthly or annual basis, then if you have a subscription, you have access to those. Additional modules like the knee brace, measuring how your knees work, how your posture fits together, this kind of things, additional upselling. And a nice option is the disposables market. So here we've got an insole which is deteriorating over time. It's relatively cheap, but you need one every year. So here we have a kind of sustained revenue, getting a bit of money every time we get a new when you buy new shoes, you need new insoles, and we have a kind of disposable market there. So this is our summary slide, just to put it in perspective from the user. We're trying to create a very pure and clean running experience that's not interfering with your natural running style and your kind of meditation at one with nature experience. It's a personalized guided training, so it helps very specifically problems that you want to address. And to also bring that motivation, that sense of achievement, the idea that you've done something and got somewhere to maintain the compliance and keep people going on the road. And that was Run Right. So thank you very much for your attention. Hope you enjoyed it.
Thank you. Thank you. Are there any? Well, first of all, the jury has the first word.
The jury will have two questions. I think the first question we have a general question. It's for all the groups. We have a prize as money. Okay, and if you got some money, where are you going to spend it? For what? So on this, let's say, project idea.
Can I have the microphone back? Great, thank you. Yeah. Okay. So. It depends how many millions you're going to give us, but if it's not so much money, then I think we've got quite a nice working demonstrator right now, but we'd like to get the wireless link to the insole so it's really more functional. Right now it's actually a wired solution, so we want to make that wireless. We didn't have time in the weekend to get that functional because the protocol handover was a little bit complicated, so we went for a simpler short-term solution. It's not really a big challenge, but I'd like to get that up and running. So that'd be one thing, to get this bracelet really slick and running wirelessly so it can be really put in action on the road. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I like the way the feedback is really simple, it's right or wrong, but how does the runner know how to improve it? If he's doing it wrong, how should he do it right? How can you give that feedback?
Okay, so you're right. Oh, well done, thank you. Yeah, so you're right. So this is the screen that is your advice screen. You can look at this before your run, select the exercise you want to achieve, and it gives you the traffic light guidance. It tells you underneath, or actually it's not on there right now, but it tells you what the red means, what the green means, what the yellow means, and the advice comes in here, the solution to the problem on each one. So you know before you run what red means, what yellow means, what green means. So you do that before you run or after you run in the summary screen. these are the aspects you need to work on next time. So it's a, in between running, you have the theory, and when you're out on the road, it's just a very simple feedback that doesn't disturb your experience in between.
Okay. Other questions? Yeah.
First of all, compliments for a very nice presentation and a very nice concept. I'm very intrigued by this, and I'm very practical, so immediately thinking of is there some kind of influence on the type of shoes, or is there some advice given on the type of shoes? And the second thing is, the second question is the know-how that you have in the where does it come from, and what does that mean for your team if you decide to go on to make it a business?
Okay, so I think there were 3 questions, but I start with the first one, which is about shoes. And it's absolutely, you're right, it's a very good opportunity. Here we have captured data. You know something about how people are using their feet, and shoe recommendation is a very nice step that could be integrated as an opportunity for targeted marketing or targeted sales for a particular company using this as a market channel, or even for advertising or something like this. It's another opportunity. Your second question was about the know-how, indeed, yes. So the know-how comes from partially from work that we actually have some know-how in the team, by the way. So we have a kinesiologist who also brought some know-how to the table. One of our team members not here today, also a very experienced runner, Ron. He was here on the first day, so we got some know-how from there. I'm also trained in sports science, biomechanics, and I did a PhD in sports technology. So we have knowledge in the team, but also from the literature and some work that's been done at TNO previously. That's how we came to this interaction system. The third question was something about commercializing or something, I can't remember.
What does it mean for your team composition if you go on? You need extra skills.
Okay, sure. So that's very good. So actually today was very valuable, I think, bringing together different minds. That's one thing I mentioned at the beginning of my presentation. And what was so nice working in this team was everyone had very clear roles. Everyone brought a new expertise, different expertise to the table, and gelled together very nicely. The software skills were indispensable. Interaction design is something that I haven't had much experience with before, and this came from Pim, and I found that very valuable. The ways of interacting with the body, the kind of human factors orientated way of thinking to minimize the interaction. This was nice composition. It's something that I think would be valuable in the future as well. And of course, the underlying science is necessary always.
Okay, thank you. I think we have to leave it at that.
One more question.
One more? Okay, well, one more.
Please.
Yeah. Well, there's a room.
So you're focusing on sports, that's great. I think indeed in B2B environment, feedback to shoe manufacturers is a big business opportunity as well. Have you thought about physiotherapists? I mean, giving them a tool to help people recovering from injury, back problems and that kind of stuff?
I've had someone who wants to take the question. Is it okay if I pass it over? I also have an answer for you. We can talk later, but...
We also have looked at different users. We've used for recreational users, for professional users, but also for people with health problems. Could be overweight, could be physiotherapists. We focused on recreational users because that's just the largest market. On the other hand, for professional users or users for health issues, often have a larger budget. So you can also use more sensors, such as the knee brace, such as you can even have a full suit with all kinds of sensors to measure, well, actually practically everything. So it is possible. We just let the focus on recreational users.
Okay, thank you. No, I think that's quite enough. Your time is really up, but thank you so much for this great presentation. Next up is Eindhovation, and please give Run Right a welcome applause. So while we're waiting for Eindhovation to make it over here. Okay. Large team, yeah. Who can I give the microphone to? Okay.
Well, welcome ladies and gentlemen to the presentation of the ACT race by our team Reactive. In a minute you will start to see the presentation. In the meantime, we can tell you that we developed this prototype with a rather large team. However, due to the multidisciplinary fields, we really developed a innovative product in the last 2 days. And there it's going. Yes, as you can see, here is a visualization of the Augmentorz. On the next slide, we have the team members, and you can see the diverse field of expertise that we contain within. Now, by now, you might be wondering, why did we develop the Augmentorz? Well, first of all, we developed it for the people in the winter sport market. It's a sport and activity where a lot of people get together in a varying environment with a lot of dynamics, and all different levels of skill can get together. However, a downside of this is that unfortunately a lot of injuries occur during this sport, and most of them are knee injuries. We made a short visualization. You can see one of those injuries occurring, and what a regular brace attempts to do is stabilize the knee joint and prevent the injury that way. However, our product distinguishes itself in the sense that it is adaptive, meaning it uses sensors to sensor and compute whether there is a actual critical situation, and if it registers one, it provides the support when needed. On top of that, it also allows for muscle and tendon development when it is not used. This is a major advantage during regular braces because they usually do not allow optimal training during the use. Another advantage is that it can provide a larger stabilization force due to its temporal nature. Now, how this is actually realized is, well, first displayed on this slide. As you can see, we use a magnetic fluid that will be activated, providing a solid layer and stabilization on the relevant positions on the knee. However, there are different methods of obtaining this stabilization. Another one would be with a contraction mechanism with integrated wires on the knee. Well, if we have our lovely assistant that could provide a short demonstration, it would be a slightly more elegant solution. As you can see, the pattern of the integrated wires provide the stabilization where needed, whereas it allows the movement to continue unhindered. Now, this is a very rudimental demonstration, as you can see. However, the weight and the power issues have been evaluated and concluded to be a very viable solution. In fact, we had a very small prototype. Unfortunately, due to a last-minute failure, we had to resort to a drill. However, the concept should definitely be able to be smaller, and as a matter of fact, we can have here a small example of the knee brace that was provided by one of the sponsoring companies. As you can see, here are the sensors which actually register the position, and based on that we can do a data analysis which computes whether any support is needed. A stabilizing system could be integrated into this and could be relatively small. On the next slide, we can see for who would this be? First of all, active sporters could protect their knees in a more efficient manner. That means they get the training of the stabilizers and protection when needed. Besides that, a very, very important factor could be the dynamic stabilization induced by a physiotherapist, for example. Rather than a solid and continuous force, it could be slowly decreased over time, allowing for better rehabilitation. And well, as you can see, we projected this on our market. In first instance, the winter sport market would be a very, very good market for several reasons. First of all, it's a progressive market, meaning it would be slightly more easier to pick up. Second of all, it's a relatively low burden, meaning, well, compared to ski shoes and skis, it's not that much of a hinder. Well, that would be the first development. If it would be a success, the money could be used to create a lighter and more usable product. This could then be expanded to, for example, martial arts, where in several sports there are already knee protectors being used. Next level could be soccer, volleyball, basketball. And as you can see, once that market could be entered, it allows for a whole new world of possibilities. For example, elderly people. But next level product development would also include motion learning by copying. The sensors could actually be programmed to copy a motion, for example, of a pro whatever athlete it would be. For example, a basketballer. This could be used for a faster learning experience, increasing the joy that is perceived during the sport. And secondly, it could also even be used for resistance training in specific exercises. We would like to thank you for attending this presentation, and if you have any questions, please ask.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the nice visualizations. To the jury?
Yeah, the general question was, you mentioned something about money to what you are going to do about, but you get a small amount of money, let's say today. How are you going to spend that?
First of all, yeah, of course, thank you. First of all, we will invest it in developing a efficient and properly working product, selecting the right exact type of stabilizing system. And that in itself would just ensure a good product, and a small bit would of course be spent at marketing once it's developed.
Looking at the jury, if there might be another question. Do you have a question? Okay, anybody from the audience have a question to this group? Okay.
Have you considered to also build in sensors which can make the data uploaded to a smartphone and then put that data in the cloud for remote analytics on movement and things like that?
That's a good question.
Yes, indeed we have. It would be a very valuable data source for example, for physicians and etc. Another advantage would be that feedback could be used to improve our product. That means that the data analysis could provide a better probability distribution or computation for when support is needed. However, to get that pattern going, to have consumers actually upload the data, because you don't want a large sending chip on your knee brace, we figured that once you upload it, you also can download the improvements that have been used by that data feedback, and that way you can actually get an improvement motion going. I hope that kind of answers your question.
One question from the audience, perhaps? No? I think your story was very clear then, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, for the next presentation, which is Sjors. He unfortunately couldn't be here this afternoon because something related to his presentation. It's about volleyball. He created a volleyball assistant. And what we did is I recorded him this afternoon pitching his idea. So what I will do is I'll put up this video. And that is his presentation. Let me see. So first, let me show you a short video. He created an assistant for volleyball. Yeah, there we go. So what I'll do should give you an insight. It's about, the problem is about okay, what you have seen is that, of course, a volleyball action is pretty fast. So, of course, if Sjors was here himself, he would do it very smoothly, this presentation. There we go.
Yes, kunnen we? Alright, hoi, ik ben Sjors. Ik heb me in deze hackathon bezig gehouden met een applicatie genaamd Volleyball Analytics. Je moet je voorstellen als coach of als speler of als trainer heb je informatie nodig om de volgende actie voor te kunnen bepalen. Als coach bepaal je dat, heb je die nodig om de wedstrijd te kunnen winnen. Als trainer heb je die informatie nodig om de volgende training zo effectief mogelijk te maken. En als speler wil je graag beter worden, vooral op topniveau. Volleyball Analytics zorgt ervoor dat deze data op een intuïtieve manier wordt verzameld. Waardoor het door één persoon in principe opgenomen kan worden tijdens de wedstrijd. En tegelijkertijd zorgt die app ervoor dat de data gepresenteerd kan worden aan de mensen voor wie het belangrijk is. In dit geval kan er bijvoorbeeld zo'n rally zich voordoen waarbij er een geserveerd wordt, gepaast wordt aangevallen. Door simpelweg de balbaan te volgen kan de applicatie afleiden wie die actie doet met wat voor resultaat. Deze data wordt opgeslagen in de database en vervolgens gevisualiseerd in een analysestuk, wat in principe uitgebreid kan worden met elke analyse die wij op een willekeurig moment kunnen toevoegen. Deze informatie die kan dan uiteindelijk natuurlijk worden gebruikt om de wedstrijd te winnen, om beter te worden of om de volgende training te bepalen. De doelgroep die hiermee samenhangt is uiteraard alles wat met volleybal te maken heeft. Het team, hoe staan we ervoor, hoe doen we het, de coach, hoe ga ik deze pot winnen en de trainer, waar moeten we op berichten om beter te worden. Volleyball Analytics zorgt ervoor dus middels dit product dat er een platform komt om deze informatie continu te delen onderling voor iedereen die daar interesse in heeft. Kernactiviteiten in principe ervoor zorgen dus dat de data zo makkelijk mogelijk verzameld kan worden, want het moet in ieder geval door één persoon opgenomen worden tijdens de wedstrijd en ook gepresenteerd worden. De analytics is iets wat achteraf door de medewerkers gedaan wordt. Dus eigenlijk het definiëren van een goede analyse van data. Bijvoorbeeld, wat is mijn pasingseffectiviteit? Hoeveel ballen paas ik goed? Of hoeveel ballen ze kunnen beter? Etcetera. Daarnaast, door de data goed te visualiseren middels grafiekjes. En bijvoorbeeld tijdens een opstelling het kunnen definiëren van de spelers waar ze staan. Hier bijvoorbeeld zou dan speler 1 komen staan, daar speler 2, 3, 4, 5. Het makkelijk de boodschap goed overbrengen naar de mensen die moeten ontvangen. In deze 32 uur heb ik redelijk wat kunnen doen, maar helaas niet alles. Dit is op dit moment de structuur. We kunnen spelers definiëren, teams definiëren en wedstrijden definiëren. De volgende stap en de grootste stap is in principe het opnemen van rallies. Volleyball Analytics. Ja, that's me.
Okay, so we had to solve it this way. I hope you could follow the story. What I want to do, because Sjors, of course, would have liked to be here, I want you guys to act as if he was here, and you're giving him a great applause for his presentation. And then I want to go to the jury and maybe just give a few responses to this pitch. And I'm going to get this video to Sjors, and I think you will really appreciate that. So we'll start with applause for you, Sjors. Okay. So, what did the jury think?
It's a good presentation. I think the presentation went very well. No interruptions or a smooth story, and to me, I think the concept is clear. So, for me, no direct questions at the moment.
Okay. Anybody else want to respond? Maybe somebody from the audience? Okay. Well, Sjors, I think your story was very clear, and we'll let you know how it went. Bye. Okay. That was Sjors. Thank you very much. Next up. Oh, lens. Okay. Next up is M.A.I.D. So M.A.I.D, can you? Give him a warm welcome.
Good afternoon. My name is Richard, and I developed M.A.I.D, the martial arts impact detector. It's kind of like the same system as fencers use to determine if there is contact between the two fighting parties. I implemented some sensors in the glove to register if there is contact made with a body. There are several contact points. I just used one, and that's the back of the fist. It's on the top of the hand. You can also put sensors in other guards on the instep, on the foot, on the ball of the foot, inside of the wrist, and of the knife edge of your hand. So it will register when you hit your opponent. Your opponent has a t-shirt on with the same sensor in it that registers when he is hit. So you have two contact points, one on the fist of the attacker and one on the body of the opponent. And so you can determine if a fair point is made, because there can be a lot of misconceptions if someone is hit or not. And this gives you solid data that a contact is made. Here is an example. This is a photo. He blocks the kick from the German guy with his right hand. But when the foot is extended from the knee out, it passes below the elbow and hits him on the chest, on the left side. The referee is standing on the other side, so it's hard for him to determine if the kick is valid or not. When the contact points on both opponents are lit up, the referee can get a signal from the gloves to sensors on the side, and he can determine if the point is scored. This is also a great training app. If you're sparring one-on-one, you don't need a referee to determine if points are scored. So you can practice your hobby just with two people. When the contact is made, I just made a simple example on this. A light will come on and a sound will be heard. This is very bulky, but it's the stuff I had to work with, but it functions. This can even be extended for viewing pleasure for the people who are watching the sport. You can have an LED board with the LEDs on a t-shirt, so the viewers can see where somebody is hit on the body and which part of the body he is hit with, the feet or the hand or the elbow or whatever. The sport is a very fast sport, so the viewers can miss the fast action, and the scoreboard lights up when somebody is hit, so the viewing pleasure is also enhanced by this system. It can be further developed with sensors that registers how hard there is a punch delivered or a kick, which can add to a different kind of scoring system. It's very hard, I think, it's a hard sell to the martial arts federations because they are laced with traditions. So I think the best way to put this in the market is as a training tool in the Budo schools and martial arts centers. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I'm very curious. Jury questions.
I see, I think, a great value for the jury and the entertainment. How can this help to let this sport grow in popularity? Have you thought about that?
Because it's a very fast sport, it's very hard for the viewers to see what is happening on the floor. When fencers are opposing each other, they just move forward and backwards, and they are connected by a line. So this has to be completely wireless, because the opponents are circling around each other. The scoreboard, this is not developed yet, gives also a much more pleasurable viewing experience for the audience.
But I mean, popularity for, say, children to take up the sport. Does it help to let the sport grow in any way?
Yeah, because it's promoting fair play. When you score a point, you get awarded a point, and not get a point by a mistake from a referee. So it's much more fairer for the participants.
Okay, there was one other question. I think from Sjors.
It's quite a fast sport, also very hard. People are hitting other people very hard. Did you investigate what kind of electronics or sensors would be resilient against things like that?
I've got one pressure sensor inside of the glove. It's embedded all the way in, so it's in between the foam. You can see it here. And when you make contact, light contact, only the light comes on, and when you hit hard, the buzzer also rings. It's not allowed to hit full contact on a face. You can full contact on the body, but it's not allowed on the face. So when you hit the face, the light will come on and you score a point. When you hit too hard on the face and the buzzer goes off, you're disqualified. So it's much more fairer for the participants, because it's always the jury or the referee who determines if a punch is too hard or not. And now you have a calibrated system which you can determine that it's too hard. When the buzzer goes, it's too hard, you're disqualified. When the light lights up, it's a good point. Yep.
There's one question.
And if you have the first seed fund of money, what is the first step? What are you going to do with the money?
I'd like to develop the scoreboard with that money, with the wireless applications, to make it a better viewable experience for the audience. Any more questions?
Okay, thank you. One more question, and then.
Just one small comment. I think the strategy to start with the training tool is very clever. You say that there's a lot of tradition. Is a very good observation. A lot of marketing plans fail by misinterpreting the market, and so compliments for this observation and coming up with a clever route to market. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. So next presentation is SciProc. Did I pronounce that well? Yeah? Okay, good enough.
All right, well, I'm very happy to have the opportunity to present our project today, and I would like to welcome you to our project, which is about smart body performance. It's about SciProc. That's what our team is called. So I would like to fairly introduce you to the basic concepts of the project. So we started with an initial idea, and we thought, is there some sport that really hasn't been innovated in the last half a century or so? Because of the very nature of sport and the very nature of human behavior and of the outer interaction that happens between the human and the sport itself, it's very difficult to find a classic sport that also the people enjoy doing, but at the same time there's much room for improvement. And we started evaluating pretty much any sport, and we came to the conclusion that basic training to the human body is a very vital aspect to any sport. No matter what you do, you need to have a strong physique in order to push the boundaries outside your body. So they say you have a strong mind, you have a strong body, but you need to combine them both. So we evaluated the fitness hall, a place that all three of us go, and we like to push the iron, so to speak. But we really thought that there is not much modernization happen there. Even though there's a lot of utilities that can detect heart rate and body fat, there isn't a utility that really is smart. It isn't using the information technology as good as 21st century can do. So we thought about modernizing this approach. And of the very nature of training, it comes that it's very basic. It's just weightlifting most of the time, and it's just pushing hard till your body drains, and that's how you create a better body. So we wanted to create a digital and data approach, and we thought, okay, we can't really touch the side of where a user is training, but we can touch the side where a user can experience performance upgrade, in order to speak, when it's improving. So we wanted to detect changes that happen in the body. And those changes happen, for example, if you attend sports frequently, if you run frequently, you detect changes that happen to your body. It's the very nature. And we wanted to scan those changes, the physical aspects of those changes, and also the inner aspects of the changes. And we made use of Kinect sensor. So we wanted to basically get a 3D model of your body and evaluate its measurement. We use a scanning system of the model, and we furthermore obtained the bone structure. And we wanted to make it sort of like a chamber, but we didn't have really the time to do it. A chamber that you can go and have all those utilities that you have so far on, like for example, measuring the fat you use with a slipper, and also measuring the heart rate. There's tons of utilities. Why not put it in just one product and have the total digital data extracted? We use a data mining approach. So we evaluate the user's body. We have all the Kinect skeleton joints, and we do a Kinect body gathering. Basically, a Kinect sensor is a sensor that can get the depth, and with tweaking it can get the bone structure. and it can get the motion, but it's not very precise. So we tried to get it as close as possible. We furthermore wanted to get the real imaging by made use of the integrated camera. So our approach was to scan one of our team members' body, and that was Ismet. So that's as close as we got, and we're quite proud of it, to be honest. And it's a detailed body of his that can be plugged in any system, and it can be evaluated. And it's we furthermore prepare it to segment the body, so evaluate the body parts, so to speak, the head, the shoulders, and the wrist. That was our idea, to measure the basic weight and the muscle inside the structure. So we also applied the real-time texture, which we used by the Kinect image, and that's actually a 3D image that we got. I hope the lighting is good enough so you can see it. And it's a real data texturing, so it's live, you can have it. And it can be saved and plugged into any system, so that's very good, I think. We have a body data visualization concept, so this our main points. You have, so to speak, a visualization system of the user. You can evaluate certain body parts. For example, here we did a concept of visualizing the right biceps, the left biceps, the chest, and the waist. So you can see on the top left corner that we did a measurement of the right biceps, which is 43 centimeters, quite impressive, and the left biceps is 42 centimeters. So there's things to improve, right? You can detect this quite easily with a mirror. Yeah. So also the chest, you can get the chest measurement and the waist. And we do as close approximation of this statistics as possible. So you don't want to get like 90 point something, it's just bad data. So how can we use this data? Okay, this like the real challenge comes in. We can use it in the training room. And for example, a user can use the room and the scanning utility to check his behavior. For example, he does one scan a month, and after 3 months, he does another scan. And therefore, a new data has been gathered, and those two data are compared. So the models are being compared, and we can detect changes in the symmetry. We can detect changes in the weight. We can detect changes in the body mass, the muscle mass. So you can get larger, you can get skinnier. It depends on you, but it's digital. So far, great. And the data can be sold to third parties. So I really think that other supplement companies would really benefit from it. You probably went to Amazon. You look for some item, and you say, I really like it. And a bunch of recommendation pops in. Oh, you probably might like this, you might like that. Why we can't do it like with the body data? So you go to some website, and they can recommend you proper supplements. Why not, depending on your performance? I would really like to see that. You can also do a peer comparison. So if everything is uploaded to a body network, one can evaluate other, check on his progress, congratulate him for the good work, push him up a bit if he's doing bad. And also a smart scale can be implemented. So you can have the weight and the height very much more precise, I think. You also can evaluate the body fat, inspiring the user. So critical stages of the system is where the user can really detect the progress and check, oh, I really did an improvement here. I'm quite happy about myself. And you do a nice visualization graph. I think that would be a really cool approach. And it's quick and reliable method. So far, we only saw a very expensive scanning devices that cost in the range above 10,000 euros. And I think using a mass production of such quick and easy data gathering can be great. You can also share this data, but make sure that it keeps private, right? It is encrypted. Meanwhile, while Casper was talking, I did a scan of his data, and you can see that by using such tools, you can easily obtain most of his body data. Okay, didn't got his back, but I got his front, right? So it's quite close, and he was explaining here. So encryption can really benefit. So we aim at the body as means of digital expression stays yours, and only you can use it. We can make a further approach. Well, I said about the Kinect 1.0 limitation, we're using an old sensor. Quite new came around the horizon. For example, there is a structure sensor, but unfortunately we couldn't get our hands around it. And it could be much more precise than it's now, if you're using very new technology. And it's quite in the same price range. You can also cheap and mass produce such devices. And it can happen as the history of the last century with the cameras. First they were really expensive, and they went mass produced, so now they're really cheap. Also further development can come arise. For example, you can collect much more qualified data. And yeah, I hope this is a nice approach. Well, thanks. I would like to thank to everybody for making this happening. And keep in mind that innovating sports is very difficult. Personally, we all3 found that it's very difficult, but we really enjoy it, and we really wish all the best of all. Yeah, thanks.
Okay, thank you very much. So.
Okay, long talk, but if I understand correctly, you've got a very simple method of scanning your body.
Yeah.
Yes. But I missed a little bit. Maybe you something like scanning the body, selling to others, but maybe why not for the individual? Why not using this like a method to, if you do this exercise, maybe okay, he looks fine, but there are a lot of people with maybe a belly there, and maybe you can show what kind of changes you can achieve if you do this exercise. Is this an idea or is this too difficult?
Precisely, this is entirely possible. Entirely possible. You can do this within the system, and you can have the system used by all kinds of individuals. It doesn't matter at the level of your sport performance. You can evaluate yourself and keep progress only for yourself, depending on how you want to use the system. You can also make it. You can make the data public, I would say that there is a sharing method, or it can stay just private. It doesn't come outside your smartphone or something like that. Yeah.
How long does it take in time? Question is how long it takes in time?
Yeah, I'll repeat on the microphone. How long does it take in time measurement? So yeah, maybe he wants to answer. Yeah.
Okay. So at the moment we only used one Kinect, so we had to rotate the whole body in order to get the whole image. But let's say if you can use 4 or 5 Kinects, you can really do a scan for not more than 5 minutes, let's say, a full body scan. It depends on your technology limitations.
Okay. Are there any other questions maybe from the jury,
Yeah.
from the room?
If there are any questions from the jury or the public?
Yeah, one question.
I wonder, you're just talking about the outside of the body and not about condition and that you feel fit. Just about showing your body. So, yeah, my question is, what does it bring you outside that you have a nice body and that you can buy clothes that fits exactly on your body?
Yeah, I think it's a very good question. First of all, you can combine this data with a biological data. So you have an instrument that detects your blood, and you can combine this instrument that gets the data inside your body. The actually analysis of the blood will get out the statistics that's inside of the body. So what's happening on the much deeper level. Unfortunately, we can't do this with the Kinect. The technology is not that advanced, right? I wish it can, though. Yeah, so you need to have a blood detection and analysis. That's how it goes. The real spirit is inside of you, yeah.
All right. Okay, give them a warm applause. Thank you very much. Next is IF. If. We're halfway there, guys. Nice to see all the presentations. Just give you the microphone.
Yes. Thanks. Hello? I think about to play the video first, then see. Is it possible? So you need to turn it off here. Hello. Hi everyone. Good afternoon. I'm Lin Kai. And I'm very happy to present our project here. And you can... Yes. Ripple is our project's name. I name it Ripple, as you can see. And currently, I'm just start to have some to have some sports in the gym, and I really my first try will be the cycling training machine. But after I try several times, I have some questions. Like I really feel like this. I really feel why it's so boring, and what my condition is, and what the numbers on the dashboard means to me. A lot of numbers. So all the questions turn into one question here. It's called, what does user like me really needs from the machine? So our team start to do the factor findings and background study with the real machine. So finally we got 4 factors we selected. The first is probably the data of speed is what I really care about, and how much time I used on this machine is what I care about, and heart rate, and most important thing is how many calories I really burned. So, but the current way is kind of boring. With very cold digital numbers popping up, I don't know what it is actually is. So we think about, finally we got this idea to put all this data into a very tangible way and give them some meaning to present to me and bring new experience to us. For this picture, you can feeling like that. When you cycling, you are feeling like you're really on the surface of the ocean, something. Fishes will diving in the water under your foot, and their ripple and some affections. And all these affections have meaning, and we'll present it forwards. And this is a wave. The wave is presents how fast you are. When you fast, the wave will become bigger and bigger. So it's very easy for you to observe. You don't need to focus on something. You can't looking everywhere, but you know there's something happening. You are accelerating. And also, we also have heart rate as a ripple presents. Your heart rate will create ripples there. So you can imagine when you really practice, there will feels like a big ring or something. Affections there. It's very interesting and fancy thing. And beside that, we also have some fishes surround you. You are surrounded by the fishes if you really practice really hard. You burn a lot of calorie. The more the more calorie you burned, you consumed, the more fishes will be there. And also, they're not only you in the gym, also others. A gym is a kind of public space for some. It's very good for some social behavior. So we think about probably there are also some others, fishes. Probably they don't know you, but their fishes could come to you and have some interaction with your fishes. Then could be some interesting topic afterwards. You have some same topic to share with. So this is a basic idea how the social parts works. First we have a small fish, a really little fish. Then I will become more and more. Then suddenly someone pop up beside you. Then everyone have different color of their fishes. So your fishes and his fishes or her fishes will be joined together or dance or something, I don't know. Could be interesting. And this is the basic idea what we have. And you can imagine if there are a lot of people in the one gym, there were a lot of people have different identity, different color of fish. This could be the pictures what we have in the future. A lot of, I don't know, could be dream. Okay. So currently, sadly we don't, because our device is really big, so we build up all the things in another space there. And currently what we do is use a very light frame to put a beamer up there and project things on a white sheet, bed sheet. Then that is a picture we took when we practiced. And I will also show you one small video which we have. This is the affection we already have here. You will see there are some colorful fishes around you. That's very small fish. Okay. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I like the concept of bringing a new experience to this. Have you considered different kind of formats, like you create this reality of like really experiencing like riding up a mountain? Personally, for me, that would be better and more engaging than the fishing thing. But the whole notion of creating an environment which is challenging, like experiencing riding up a mountain, for me definitely would work. Have you considered that, different formats?
Thanks for the question. Actually, we have a lot of different concepts before we have this. We also think about to have project something before in front of us. Then we also can present like mountain biking or something different environments. And finally, the reason we come up with this is we really want to have a not really thing. If you really want to bike somewhere, you just bike outside. It's really convenient. But here is something you cannot.
We don't have mountains in the Netherlands.
Okay, okay. But here we really want to share some experience we cannot find anywhere on the earth. So.
I like also very much the idea with the fishes. And how do you know who has which color? And what does it do with the social integration? Do you meet other people? Or is it like dating? You can date in your sport or something like that. How does it work?
Thanks very much. And for now, our idea is just could be randomly related to the machine you use. But the further idea is if they can identify who you are. If I'm really a customer and I go this gym very frequently, they can find out who I am. Then my fishes can growing up or something. That will be interesting. Thanks very much.
Okay, thank you very much. Give them a round of applause. Thank you. Next up, JumpSpo. And while they set up, I'm just curious, like in the room, what do you think so far? Frank, what do you think of the presentation so far?
I think it's a great, a lot of a variety of concepts, and it's great to see what they can achieve in such a short time. So it's really nice to see. Yeah.
Okay, cool. How about you, Bros?
Yeah, the same. It's in such a short time period hacking this together, and not only coming up with the concept, for some teams already having the prototype ready. That deserves a lot of respect.
I agree. I agree. So, JumpSpo, are you ready? Ready to go?
Hi, I'm James Casper, and my team is JumpSpo. JumpSpo, I'm not entirely sure. And we want to save the world, actually. We think big, but we provide a very simple solution to solve a very real world problem. And that problem is obesity. When we look at the trend in obesity worldwide, it's very, very clear we have a very serious problem. And big problems, pun intended, require actually simple solutions because it involves everyday people. There are all sorts of actual fitness tests you can take, but they're all quite complicated. You need to do Cooper tests, you need to run a long time, you need to go to the gym, you need to do complicated calculations for your BMI index, you need to do all sorts of tricky things to keep track of your weight, rather than, and what we want to provide is a very, very simple way to get a very simple, clear metric for your body mass index, for your general health, a single metric that can tell you where you stand relative to the rest of the world, so you can check your narrative. In other words, you can check with yourself that you're not kidding yourself about your general health. And the solution is called JumpSpo. And what it is it's a very simple way to measure the standing jump. And in other words, your hang time. Now let me just demonstrate. You want to add in? Okay.
So the last couple of hours, or from yesterday off, we just made a proof of concept to prove that our feeling, our intuitive feeling, was right. And based on that concept, we also made several iterations.
Right. So the first thing we did is we had an idea and we wanted to collect data. So what we did is we rapidly built a data acquisition unit. This was it. This is the first one. This is obviously not for production. This is for us to collect data here, and we did that. We had 30 people, I think, taking a fitness test. The fitness test itself is less than a second, because that's how long it takes to jump. But we collected some other metrics as well, your weight and your height, your age. And then we compiled that into some visualizations, which we'll show in a minute. But I just want to show you the basic concept. A standing jump is something anyone can do. You stand on a spot, and I'll show you the spot in a minute, and you jump. And that's it. And that can tell you a lot about yourself. So just go back to that last. Okay. This is someone actually jumping. I love this photo. A lot of fun. So the basic idea is that the standing jump. Then how do you capture that in a way that we can make it for less than $1? That was the challenge. And we began obviously with this. You can't make this for $1. And we had some ideas. We actually put together a 3D printed model. The concept being you're going to measure the hang time and display it on a series of LEDs. So you can get immediately feedback about your hang time. And we moved along to an idea where you have a mat on the ground, which you roll up with a handle, so you can neatly put that away. And in fact, maybe that's a version of the end product. And then we iterated further. Oh yeah.
So that's just basically the movements you already saw here, and that's with one of the prototypes we put in the video. So this is our final concept. It's made of already existing stuff. So the housing is from a USB stick. The electrical components are very simple. There's just feedback giving by light. And there is a little, how do you call it, contact switch in the fabric. So it is very low cost. It's very easy to make. So yeah, this is already something we can already begin to produce. But what is more important is it working? So we also thought about, okay, what can you do with this data? Because of course, now the lights are blinking, but what are they telling? Well, we've said, well, we want to keep it very low cost, so we're not going to do fancy Wi-Fi or Bluetooth thing in the product. So we thought about an app. You put it on your phone, you make a picture of the end result. The app recognizes it, it's uploaded it to the internet, and then the cool stuff can begin. So there was some research already based on what vertical jump can tell about your fitness. But we did some actual measurements here. So here you can see the data we collected over the past few hours. The size of the bubble represents the BMI, so its weight divided by length, yeah. But it's set out against age and the time of the jump. So you already can see a correlation that people with higher BMI don't jump as high. How old you get, the less high you get also. So there is already some correlation in it, and this is just from a little bit of data. So imagine what we can do with a lot of data. It can tell you a lot about where you relatively stand, about your fitness. But we also made another chart, so we can see, okay, basically everybody between 40 and 60, most of them jump like, I don't know, 500 milliseconds. So we can do really a lot with the data. But of course, yeah, we also want to make it into a business. So we just got a cheap, simple, fast and easy fitness test. It's really universal. You can use it at schools, like an add-on for the existing shuttle run or Cooper test. You can give it away as a gadget for health checks at insurances, at the big companies. Yeah, so we really want to take it further. So I think James got the perfect solution to tell you how.
Do you have many more slides? Need you to work towards the finish.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So the next steps. We want to take this to crowdfunding, actually. And we want to do a pilot production run. The whole point of what we've done already is to design it that we can manufacture already for under, what I have there is probably about €3, even for about 1,000 pieces, and get it out to seed a crowdfunding by getting out to sport like gyms and things like this, and for them to give away, actually, and then use the people who are using that to then become the first backers in the crowdfunding round which would follow, which is where they buy the app from the App Store as a follow-up. So that's a nutshell. It can grow from there because there's a lot of data. Once people are contributing, you can do all sorts of comparative analysis. Okay.
Maybe something to add very shortly. Also, the people who helped us out with the test today and yesterday, you can already find your results online on jump-sport.nl, if I'm right. And also the jurors, if you want to try it out, if you want to compare yourself to the other people here, please come by our table after the presentations and you can try it out for yourself.
Okay, thank you very much.
Well, there's one thing that really sticks in my mind, and that is even a bit is really touching me, and it's your statement keeping it below $1, and it has the same kind of quality as the $100 laptop and those kind of things. So I think it's very inspiring. Thank you.
Okay.
Great technology, and I like the way that you're attacking a huge social problem of obesitas. But for me, the link from addressing obesitas and actually making a difference to a simple fitness test is just too big. Can you explain how this can really help to reduce obesitas?
Well, the first thing before someone can take action with their obesity or even their overweightness is for them to understand that they really are obese or overweight. And a lot of people have a narrative with themselves which is just not true. It's a false narrative. And if they can compare themselves to the real world, they can actually, using a metric, understand that yes, actually you are a bit overweight and you need to take action. Unless they can actually know they're overweight, they won't take any action. And so this is a way to very easily and cheaply allow people to compare their narrative to reality.
If I can add something, because what we're also doing, we're creating a database with a lot of information about the weight, about the BMI index of people, and that's not only visible for them, but it's also visible for other institutions, for the government, for insurance companies, who all are have things related to obesitas, to get a better understanding of the people in Holland, in the different regions, in different age groups, with all the different data we collect, to find correlations and to get a better understanding of the problem.
Yeah, I also want to add something.
I think there's one more question from the jury. I want to. You've spoken a lot.
If you really are obese, people don't want to do it or shut around, so they don't going to do it. But now it's just an easy jump, and they know it. So.
Okay, about last question, the easy jump. It's all about the jump. I mean, it's one. How do you know there are more methods for jumping? So how can people know how to jump? I mean, I believe it's one way to do it. Otherwise, you fake or you make a fool. Yeah, you foolish the system.
You can fake it, but then you wouldn't be doing it. But there isn't a point to faking it. It's for your own self, it's your own information. But of course, part of the whole package will be to have a website with how-to videos of the correct technique to get your balance. We already discovered a lot of this in teaching people to do the tests today. And in fact, that's definitely part of the story, because a lot of people have a trouble staying in balance, and we learned a lot about that. But definitely, you know, a few videos on the technique and these sort of things can solve, I think, that problem.
Okay. Thank you very much. Give them a warm applause. Next up is Arvid, but I don't see him in the room. Is he here? There he is. Okay.
Let's see. I need to test audio for a second.
Dat werkt niet.
Die werkt helemaal niet.
Microfoon bij.
Ah, oké. Dat is... Oké. Yeah. Are you guys ready? Jury? Yes. Okay. So, I'm Arvid Jensen. I don't see anything on here. Wait. This. Ah. Yeah, it seems to work. Okay, I'm Arvid Jensen. I'm a solo team, and I've been developing a musical cross-training circuit. And this is, well, actually sort of a fun new thing which solves two problems of me. First off, working out can be a bit boring, and second of all, making music can feel a bit limited, where you're only using these small movements and not doing much with your body. So I'm trying to combine them in one thing. So I've made a concept for the Jam Fit, which is consists actually of two parts. It's a fitness circuit, so a training group of people coming together, doing something, and the machines they're using at that point. I will show you the video in a second, which will make it clear, but first a little background information. So the point is, if you're making music while working out, you can get more motivation and more endurance, because you have the rhythm to follow. You cannot fall down, or the rhythm will break down. And because you're being creative, you will be more alert, and you will not suck down and get demotivated. And because you're doing it with a team and all keeping up this rhythm, you're getting like a group spirit. Just want to, you're all connected and you're working towards this this music. To make it a full workout, I've used some cross-training concepts. Part falls off, doesn't matter. Which combines just cardio and strength training elements for lower, upper, and core workouts. These are just small selections I've created right now, but it could expand in the future. So now I'll show you the movie. Okay, let's hope the sound works out. Wait. Jump fit. Okay, you won't hear anything. Tap into your primal instincts for full body, cardio, and strength cross training while making music. Okay, so I hope it got clear without the sound, but I've been developing like the actual activity instead of the machine. So you saw the people doing the movements, and you can see them sort of working out. You can see a little bit of sweat on them, so that's the thing. So this is the concept, and right now it should be ready. Like the next step would be to develop the actual machines, and that would need fitness experts to get to be sure the right movements are in there, and acoustic experts to get the right sounds. Next step would be to start a group, maybe here at the university, and check whether it actually works, if people find it fun, if real music is created, and next step is to conquer the world. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions from the jury?
Just technical. How do you make the music? Is made by the sensors, or how does it? It was not clear for me how it worked. And
So the point is that it's a fully acoustic thing. So these are actual drums and not electronic devices, because yeah, it's so much louder, so much more fun to hit the actual drum than to hit something and it's a sensor. And
okay. Yeah.
Have you thought about in what kind of environment you would place these things? If I mean, it'd be great outdoors, but if you're saying it's making real drum noise, how can you ensure it's kind of harmonious, nice sound?
Okay, so of course it's a little bit of a niche market, because you want to have people who are at least a little bit comfortable with making music, and at least a little bit comfortable in doing these fitness things. And from that it can grow on. But as I'm imagining it right now, these are like pretty big machines. Even now it's like this size thing. You cannot really easily move it around. So I'd imagine it in in a fitness studio, like in the group space, and they can store it somewhere and put it off. Put it in their space and have their group session with it.
Okay. Any more questions? One more?
I think it's a very nice idea to work with music and movement. It's a pity that you want to put it inside a building or in a fitness place. I think you should put it outside and invite people to work with that, and invite people to move more with your music.
Yeah, that would be great as well. Yeah. Like there could be different places to put it, like as a public installation or inside. And right now I thought, because of the difficulties of getting these people together and make real music with it, it could be more successful, at least initially, to put it as a group lesson or a group thing inside a structured environment instead of outside. But I think outside could work as well.
Okay. I think we have one more.
Exercises outside. And a lot of exercises are outside, and maybe they can use that. You have all those training things outside, but then you can put also your music things.
Okay. We have one final question.
That is maybe a tip of advice to consider to turn it around. You know, if you can pre-program a certain song and then program the different devices to be touched in a certain order, then people who don't have a musical background can actually play together and make music and have fun. Would that be an idea? Have you considered that?
It would be like Simon Says Cardio.
Yeah, sure. It could be like a combined version of Guitar Hero and refit things, but with real things instead of just do it in the air. Could be nice. Yeah. Would be a great direction to explore.
Okay, I think we have one more burning question. That's really the last one.
It's more a remark than we've got a lot of experience with outdoor and music and movement, and there's a lot of NIMBY, we called it, not in my backyard because people don't like. But I think maybe the boot camp, what is going off now, maybe if you make a mobile system and go somewhere and have then as a group to have the rhythm there. Maybe it's. I like the idea there, but think about the mobile system.
Yeah, or maybe a joint venture with the silent disco. Maybe if you know, heard of it. Okay, all right. Thank you very much. We're going to the next group, which is almost the last one. Augmentorz. Welcome to the stage. We're almost through, you guys. You can just start talking, I'll get the presentation running for you.
Okay. Well, my name is Dick Jansen. I'm here with a rather large team talking about Augmentorz. And that's the name of the team. Why Augmentorz do we have? Yes. Why Augmentorz? Because it has augmentation and mentoring together. So the team consists of me, Marco, Simon, Vishnu, Marina and Stefan. And is it this one? Not many people know that your average phone has a lot of sensors and actuators. And yeah, we came up with the idea to use a phone to augment the experience and to teach people how to start playing golf. Golf is an excellent candidate for this little project because it takes a lot of effort to start to learn how to properly use a golf stick and pitch a ball. So how did we do that? So yes, so we have a golf club. We have that's a bicycle holder or phones. We have a smartphone, and then you see at the upper right you can have an app based on the rotational values of that the phone registers, and you would then be given feedback on the phone as to how how your posture is with the stick in your hand. And then we came up with something else again. This is English. This it's a clip, and it's actually a wearable. You can attach to your cap here, and this is our eye on the ball sensor. So what we have now in this whole combination is a solution where we can show, we can give feedback to the user as to how the best posture is and what would be the best way of starting your swing. So I'm going to give the microphone to somebody else because I'm going to demo it.
We can now connect the phone on the stick itself. It's now done with a really cheap bicycle holder, but of course this can be professionalized, that it will be really fitting on the stick.
This is just a bicycle holder. It's a prototype to show it's workable. I'm Tiger Woods. I've got an excellent posture before I strike the ball, and when I have this orientation, I press the screen. So now this device knows the orientation the stick has, and this is Marco, and Marco will use the phone to check if he is at the right position before he strikes. So when that happens, in this case, there's a vibration. Phones vibrate, so we send a vibrational signal. He knows that he can strike. This is the proper posture for the stick to be held. So this device then knows this, it records it, and it gives feedback. But there's one thing more. Before you should be able to strike the ball, you have to look at the ball. So, and there we have the light. This is just, and then the swing. Yes, perfect. Yeah, did I miss something?
It all starts vibrating if you're on the sweet spot. So if you're on the spot and you're here, it starts vibrating, and if you're looking, then it might be that you're doing like this and stop vibrating. So you really know, okay, I have to go back, I have to take the posture, then look on the floor, I see the lights, okay, but later on it will be implemented in the phone itself, that it will communicate wireless through the phone. And you can even have extra sensors like the body. Is it rotated like this? Is it this? You can even add extra sensors as much as you want, as you prefer. So it will give you a great start on golfing, and a person who is not used to golfing can start doing it, doing the good posture. But later on, if you do the swing, you can even have an analysis if the swing is going to a good orientation, so it doesn't wobble, so you don't lose energy and you have a perfect shot on the end goal you want to achieve.
Okay, we also thought about money making. How can we make money out of this? And for this we have this slide. And
okay. I was looking on the golf market and I was shocked because we used to see always golf as an elite sport, and And apparently, from 2002, this market was almost going down. And there was several reasons for. First of all, crisis of course, and the second one, that all these baby boomers is now in care house and playing with Y, poker or golf, and the newcomers is not coming. And newcomers is young people, and that is also our target group. It is young professionals who wanted to play golf, but don't want to invest such a lot of time and such a lot of money. And when you are going to the golf course, so you need a lot of lessons to master your quality. With this small app, you can practice anyway, anytime, anywhere, anytime, almost for free. And you can do that in your garden, in your living room, in your office. You can do that just for fun, and you can master it till you not go to the course itself to see how you do that with ball. And we think that is a lot of value for customers, and they should be certainly interested. All market of golfers, it's about 50 million. When we think about only 1% of people who will use our app, we think that we will be good. And the next step will be to looking for another sport like tennis. It is almost the same technology, only different kind of sports. And this market is huge. So it has got a great money potential, and hopefully we will make it. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Any golfers in the jury?
No golfer here. Thanks. I think it has potential, and I'm curious why you chose to use a phone to put on the stick, while I think that, and you might have researched, I'm not sure, but you might do that. You can actually just use an accelerometer and a button and something that saves the data, where you can so you don't need an entire phone to, so you can have different gradations of, well, a stick, I guess.
The reason why we use the phone is because the movement is very complex. There's not only one axis you have to take care of, you have 3 axes. The turning, the angle, and you have to all take care of that. And you need a screen to see that. So if you are a starter, then you really want to see what you need to do and how you can change it. And you can see the stick, even the orientation, you can see moving, and you can perfectly align it in this way. If you are a pro golfer or more advanced golfer, you can have the small version, the accelerometer, you just put on the stick, because we also need that for the tennis version. We need a very small version which you click on, and that does the same work, because it only uses vibration, because yeah, you're on the sweet spot, you know. That's the reason why we took the phone and just for prototyping, showing you.
Okay.
How do you consider the weight of the phone on your stick? Because this is influencing your swing.
It does have an impact, but if you are starting, most people, if they start, they get lessons from their golf teacher, and the first 50% of the golf lessons are about the posture, where do you start from. And at home you can start doing the start orientation and then making the swing. And later on, of course, you'll do it with the smaller version, with the accelerometer, which is not that expensive. It's a cheap click on.
Okay. Another question from the room, maybe? There's one in the room. If you can just say it, I'll repeat it.
Do any of the team members play golf?
It's not so much if you register the swing, it's registering the position of your body according to your stick. So if you hit the ball, it's if you measure just the stick movement, you can do the stick like this,
this, but it's more the movement of the body and your
So the question is about how the relationship of the body towards the stick influences the swing.
How can you measure the relationships of your body?
How can you measure that?
You can measure the relation to the stick and the body with the extra sensor I mentioned, the body sensor. One is on the cap, one is on the body, where you can measure what the orientation is, and you can compare them, wirelessly compare them, and show on the screen what you should do. And so you have the relation between those two.
All right. So thank you very much. Thank you very much. And we're ready for the last presentation. Thank you, Augmentorz. So this is really the last one. And then
All right, welcome to the last presentation. Last but hopefully not least. All right, we'll just dive right in, no title screen, nothing. We are Team Insight, I'm Arvid, and this is my partner Robin. We made something for a special type of person. This type of person was not old, but also not young. He had something in his youth, he knows it, and he knows that he can get it back, but he doesn't know exactly how. What is this something? This something is fitness. How can he get this back? There are so many options for this already, and the most famous of this is going to the gym. You get a monthly subscription, you pay maybe 30 euros a month, and you can go to the gym. And what's the problem with that? I don't think anything, but some people do have this problem. You know what the problem is? The problem is that this person looks like this. And he is afraid to go to the gym and exercise next to this. So now the question is, how can we solve this? I think there's already a perfect solution for this. Someone who can help this person get him out of this environment and cater to his own personal needs. This person is a personal trainer. Only problem is, he costs maybe like 90 euros per hour. What do we have? We have the same thing, but only virtual. A virtual training coach. It consists out of this suit and a smartphone app. Through this combination of things, just show it around. You can slide. Through this combination, we can determine what kind of exercises an individual can perform. And the smartphone will detect whether a person is performing an exercise correctly or not. So, for example, if someone is doing a push-up, and he's doing this push-up wrong, like this, like this, okay, like this, through the smartphone app, the user will get audio feedback that will tell him to lift up his pelvis. According to that, the individual can indeed correct his posture. This can be done for many different exercises, and this is just one tiny example of it. How can the suit measure that? The suit has conductive silicone positioned at the different joints of the body, and based on the angle of every body part, we can determine whether an exercise is performed correctly or not. Oh. We have different target markets for this nice concept. The first is the one I've already discussed, and I think those are the average Joes. Nothing wrong with that. A little bit of extra help, a little bit of extra knowledge can already matter a lot. The second target market are fitness enthusiasts, those hardcore gym rats that always go to the gym. He can use this concept as an extra motivational tool to bring this little bit of extra out of himself, push himself to the edge. The final one, that's maybe a bit less obvious, is for rehabilitation therapy. We are not going to let these patients do push-ups or something, but if a patient like that goes to a rehabilitation center, he also has to do exercises in order to, for example, train wrists or the elbows. And with a suit like this, he can do exercises tailor-made for rehabilitation therapy at the comfort of his own home. Question is, how can we earn money with this? We want to sell the suit through sports stores and make the app for free. However, in order to be able to use the app, a person will need to pay a monthly fee. This will mean that he will get updated with new exercises every month and additional data according to what kind of positions are right or not will always be adjusted. Finally, we can also have a premium fee for specific clients who want personal coaching. For example, completely tailor-made fitness regimes. For that, you can get it through a premium fee. Finally, we can collect data through using this concept from every user, and this data can be gathered and be packaged as a bundle, and we can sell them as a company to different research institutes. So in short, what can you do with this? With this, you will save costs. You will get a motivational coach. We can collect data. We will make sure that the amount of injuries is way less than if you do something on your own. And finally, we provide you with a customized personal approach. Are there any questions?
Thank you. How can I?
I really love it that you do something with what you can wear on a body, and that you can have the that's with the textile. But it is not so clear for me. How do you get this information that you know that you're right? You have the right position. How does it work? The silicon.
This silicon. Conductive silicon translation. Electricity will run through this, through a battery, and based on the angle in which this layer is being bent, values will change, and based on these values we can determine what the exact position of these limbs are. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, it's like a stretch sensor.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. And how does it communicate with your phone, that you can see if you're right or wrong?
It's not something we implemented here, but a solution for that can be very simple. We can direct all these different layers through a central point, and through, for example, Bluetooth, you can communicate this with your phone.
Another question? Yeah.
So yeah, I think your pitch is very nice. It's very complete, and also that you have the various target groups, and maybe I'm in one of those target groups. I don't tell you which one, but you can guess. And okay, so. So, but also I think the business model and the clever thought about selling the data, which gives you an extra income as a company or reduce the cost for the end user. I think is a well thought through, and I think a very nice condensed presentation. Thank you.
More questions, perhaps, from the audience? Anybody in the audience? Here's one. Okay.
Yeah, I just want to comment a bit on the business plan. You said you wanted to implement a monthly subscriptions, but on the other hand, I think this will make the user just rush through the exercises and don't really spend too much getting the feedback right. And don't you think that it's more correct to give them a bit bonus of if they do a bit more exercises correct. So they unlock more content of your app, so they can advance more to advanced exercises, and this can furthermore develop your application that can be used for much more time by the user, and yeah, it will create a better business plan, I think. Yeah.
Okay, first of all, about the reward part. I have a very nice partner here. He's a skilled performer. He can maybe demonstrate, for example, let's say you master the push-up. You can do the push-up 40 times in, I don't know, 20 seconds or something. The thing is, you can always alter these exercises in such a way that they become a little bit more difficult. For example, by changing the angle of your elbow in which you will start to perform the exercise. Do you understand what I mean? Okay. As for the monthly thing, I don't think it's different. I think it's kind of fair. If the amount is low enough to not be that noticeable, but still enough that we can generate it, so to say, in a notable way, I think it's a valuable way to promote this.
Okay. Thank you. One more question from the jury.
If you would win the prize and take this further in development and towards market, can you tell us a bit more about the team that you are, what your expertise is, and what extra expertise you would need to complement your team?
Definitely. I'm an industrial designer, and my partner here is trained through sports. I think we could use the skills of a mechanical engineer and a programmer, for example, to really make a fully working prototype. If we would be able to make a fully working prototype, I would love to present this to additional investors in order to be able to perhaps one day mass market this.
Okay, thank you very much. I think we're all empty. Thank you so much. Give them a round of applause. Team Insight. Wow. So we've gone through all the presentations. The jury is going to discuss. So we'll get them right to that. There are drinks ready at the bar. So we can take a little break. Well deserved to all you guys. And we'll be back as soon as the jury is back. See you in a moment.